Based on validation applied over the input control, an input control have different state. A input provided by a user may be either valid or invalid or in warning state. So to represent these states, Bootstrap provides three different classes. It provides class has dash success to indicate a valid input. It provides class has dash error to indicate invalid input, and class has dash warning to indicate a warning on input control. We have to apply these classes on the parent element of the form input class. When we apply class has success, has warning or has error on any parent element of form input, then the effect of that class will be visible on the element with the class form input, that is generally inbox, and the label associated with the input control with the class control dash label, and the help block associated with the input control. So let's implement these validation state in our demo application. So here I am inside demo project responsive website demo in form.html. So suppose now I have to display warning state on the input password field. So now I have to add a class has warning on the parent of this input control. So let's add class has warning on the class form group. The effect of has warning will be displayed on the input with the class form control and with the help block, and the label with the class control label. So let's add class control label on this label element. So now let's save changes and refresh all page. So now we can see that our password field is displayed in the warning state, and label, control and help text is marked in different color from the normal text box. So let's add another two state has success and has error on other elements. So let's add class has success on name element and has error on this email element. Let's also add class control label on the label associated with the email. Let's save changes and refresh our page. So now we can see that our name input is displayed in success state and our email control is displayed in the invalid or in error state. We can also add different icons on the right corner of the control using the Bootstrap glyphicon icons and form control feedback option. Additionally, we have to apply a class has feedback with the context classes such as with the has dash success or with the has dash warning or with has dash error on the parent element of the input control. So let's do that. So here on the name field, let's add a class has feedback to add a icon on this. So and to display icon, let's add a span element after this input element with the class glyphicon okay for the success, and class form control feedback. Till this point, I have implemented Bootstrap input validation classes as static, but generally we do not want this. We want this to apply dynamically on the control based on the user input. Suppose I want to implement if user insert a text on the name field and if the name is valid then we apply a class valid on this, and if the name input is invalid then we can apply a error state on this input. So let's do that. So here I have removed the hard coded input validation classes, and now we want to validate this name input field based on the user input. So for that, here I have added a each name valid function on the form.js. This function will take the name parameter and check whether the length of the input is greater than or equal to 3 character, then it will return the true, otherwise it will return the false. And here inside the focus out event we are calling all each name valid function by passing the value of the name field. If each name valid function return false, then simply we are getting the parent element of the name and adding class has error and has feedback that we have did earlier, and we are also appending a span element to display the glyphicon on the right hand side of the input control. So for that we have added a span element with the class glyphicon remove, and if each name valid return true then simply we are adding a class has success and has feedback on the parent of the name attribute, and we are adding a span with the glyphicon OK to display the correct icon. So prior to calling this code which adds the input validation classes dynamically, here on the above I am removing these classes if these classes exist already in the DOM. So let's save the changes and refresh our page. So now here if I enter a s means I have added 2 character, then it is displayed as negative input, and if I change it to greater than 3 character then it is displaying as valid input. So now let's see how we can add Bootstrap alert box to display the validation messages in next video.